Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you so much for joining us. We are really excited that you're here. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items to note. First, if you have any questions at all, feel free to use the Q&A button to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. They are there and ready and available to answer any questions that you have. Your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off. The panelists can't see or hear you. There are more sessions going on, so feel free to sign up for more sessions if you are interested from hearing from other schools, and you can register for more sessions where you registered for this one. And lastly, this recording will be available a week from today. All sessions will be recorded and available at strivescan.com/Illinois. We are in session A7, where my mouse is circling right now. And so without further ado, I'll get out of the way and introduce our first presenter from Brock University.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So everyone, thank you for watching. My name is Karen Dancy, and I'm an International Recruitment Officer with Brock University and your regional representative for the United States. So I will put my email in the chat box too if you do want to connect with me following tonight's presentation. So Brock University is a public mid-sized Canadian university with just over 19,000 students and more than 100 different countries represented on campus. 13% of our student body are students from outside of Canada. We do offer over 100 different program options across 7 diverse faculties with 40 co-op programs available. While Brock may have the resources and benefits of a larger school, we do still operate on the seminar system, allowing students to benefit from smaller class sizes in their tutorials, seminars, and labs. So here's a map of Canada. You can find Brock in southern Ontario, close to the New York border, and only about a 20-minute drive from the Niagara Falls. Brock's campus is located in the city of St. Catharines, which has about 160,000 residents and is ranked one of the safest and warmest cities in Canada. So you'll be hearing more about the many benefits of studying abroad during this webinar, but I did want to point out a few things about Canada. So all of our degrees are accepted worldwide, including back in the United States, should you want to return for work or graduate studies. We are also an affordable option for high quality education. Brock's tuition is around $22,000 per year, and we do accept FAFSA if you qualify. You are also able to work as an international student in Canada while you study. So as I said, we're only about 20 minutes away from the Niagara Falls, so we can actually see the Niagara Falls from the top floor of our library on our campus. And here is a photo of our beautiful main campus. So we are located on top of the Niagara Escarpment. We are the only university in North America located on a UNESCO World Biosphere Reserve. The aerial photo shows our entire main campus, including our residence buildings. All of our residences are right on campus, just a few steps away from our academic and athletic buildings. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to walk from one side of campus to the other. And we are the site for the Canada Summer Games. So we will be opening our brand new track and field sporting facility this year. So you can see the top 5 reasons why students choose Brock. Brock does offer a safe and affordable option. In comparison to Toronto, a 1-bedroom apartment is 67% less expensive. So if you calculate that over the span of your degree, that's quite a lot of money that you'll be saving in your pocket. As I mentioned earlier, Brock is a larger university with the benefits of a smaller school. So we do offer personalized international student support, so you are able to take part in transitional and ongoing academic, language, and social programming. We have been ranked number 1 in Canada for our mental health support services and number 2 for overall student satisfaction. Brock does put a lot of effort and resources into our student services to ensure that you are equipped to succeed. We also do offer experiential education in 100% of our programs. So this can range from field courses to global internships to paid co-op work terms. And it's one of the reasons why our Brock graduates enjoy one of the highest rates of postgraduate employment in all of Canada, with 96.5% finding work after graduating. We also do offer our 2 Program Plus enhanced degree offerings for students interested in later pursuing a career in medicine or law. This is our Med Plus and our Law Plus program. So transfer students are an integral part of our Brock community, and we do accept transfer students from all around the world. At Brock, a transfer student is an individual who has studied at another accredited university or college prior to studying at Brock. A transfer applicant may apply partway through your studies at your current post-secondary institution, or after you've already graduated. We do offer programs to assist you in making a smooth transition to Brock and to ensure that you do have a positive experience socially, personally, and academically. I do want to briefly speak about our admissions process as it is a little bit different than the US. So first off, we do not require the SAT or ACT. We also do not require references or personal essays for most undergraduate programs. So these are typically only required if you decide to apply to select optional scholarships. Undergraduate admissions is primarily based on your academic average. All students who have completed post-secondary education at an approved institution are eligible for transfer credit on a case-by-case basis. So you must report all of your previous academic activity on your application, and you will be required to provide transcripts for all of your academic studies, high school and further. We may also request course outlines from past academic programs for the purpose of determining course-to-course equivalencies. So at Brock, we do offer rolling admissions, and we are currently accepting applications for September 2021 for most programs. You can apply directly at brocku.ca, and the application process is done completely online. We also offer start dates in January and May of each year for most programs. All program requirements are transparently listed on each program website that can be accessed at brocku.ca/programs. All Brock students also have access to academic advisors throughout their time at Brock. So advisors can help you determine how your transfer credits fit into your academic plan, and they can also help you with your course planning. You can see that transfer students are accepted across all faculties at Brock. The majority of our transfer students do receive more than a year's worth of transfer credits. And while I don't have time to go through all of our programs today, you can access them as well as the admission requirements once again at www.brocku.ca/programs. And then lastly, I do encourage you to follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or my favorite on Instagram. Our international page is at BrockUINTL, and our main page is at Brock University. And then lastly, if you did want to have a follow-up call and speak more about the transfer process to come to Brock, you can always scan the QR code on the screen to book a call with me or email me. My email is kdancy@brocku.ca. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next presenter is from Deakin University.
Hi everyone, my name is Tori. I'm from Deakin University, and Deakin's located in Melbourne, Australia. So typically when we think of Australia, you don't necessarily think first of education. We think kangaroos, koalas, often Vegemite, or Tim Tams if you've been so lucky. But Australia is also known as home to some of the world's most best universities. Along with a great lifestyle, it's a good consideration when you're looking for your next move as part of your education. Here I have a map of Australia so you can see where we're located. This is the map of Australia. The one outlined in pink is the state where we are based, the state of Victoria, and Melbourne would be the biggest city that we're closest to. So our campus is about 25 minutes from the Melbourne CBD. That's the main campus, but we also have two other campuses further down the coast. So one in Geelong and one in Warrnambool, each offering a different lifestyle and having a different personality. But when we talk about Melbourne, we talk some of the most iconic things that you would know it for would be the beaches and the street arts, Flinders Station, the MCG if you're into cricket, but it's really one of the world's best cities in Australia. So about Deakin. So Deakin is young and was established in the 70s, but don't let that sort of fool you because it's come up in the rankings internationally quite quickly. So it's a comprehensive teaching and research university and known as Australia's Digital Academy. Two of the things that we're really most known for and most proud of are our student satisfaction and our technology. And I'll talk a bit about that more in the next slide. Deakin has a population of around 64,000 students, of which 16,000 would be international students. So I mentioned that Deakin's quite proud of its digital environment and its student satisfaction. So we've been ranked as having the highest student satisfaction for the last 9 years in our state. And something that I'd like you to check out when you have a minute is so we have these bespoke in-house created digital enhancements that really help students to acclimate to the university lifestyle. Deakin Sync and Deakin Genie. So Deakin Genie is essentially your personal assistant while you're at university. So any question you might have in terms of when your next exams are or where to find a parking spot on campus, you can just pull out your phone and ask Jeannie. So I'd really encourage you to look at that because it's one of the things that really helps students adjust to life at Deakin. And again, quality online academic content as well as in person. So our key study areas are listed here for you, but some of the things Deakin is most well known for are exercise and sport science and sport management, psychology, life and environmental science, education, and food and nutrition. But as you will see, and as I mentioned, comprehensive. So pretty much anything you could want to study, we offer at Deakin. Our entry requirements are listed here. So we do require SAT or ACT typically, but right now we're test optional at the moment. For transfer students, we typically require 1 year of study at your previous institution. Of course, we will consider you for entry based on your high school if you haven't completed a full year at university. But again, if you are transferring in looking for credits to come in, we would typically look at a 1 year course duration in your previous study. And at Deakin, we have 3 intakes. So that makes it nice. You don't have to start in one certain intake or one trimester. We offer a March, July, and November intake. So that makes it a bit more flexible for you to finish up what you're doing, get yourself in order, and head on over to Deakin. So we offer on-campus accommodation at all of our campuses, and you can have a look at what that looks like. Typically, an undergraduate degree at Deakin would cost around $25,000 per year, plus $15,000 for additional cost of living and accommodation. I'll pop my details up on the screen if you want to take a quick picture, but feel free to get in touch and let me know if there's anything else I can help with.
Awesome, thank you. We really appreciate it. Just a reminder that you are able to submit any questions that you have through the Q&A button. Our representatives are there and available to answer any questions at any time during the presentations. Our next presenter is from Cabot University.
Thank you very much. All right, I'll hop right into it. So my name is Ramsey. I'm the admissions counselor for Cabot University, but I also graduated from Cabot almost 4 years ago. But Cabot is an American university in the heart of Rome. Few things to know right off the bat. We are a small liberal arts institution, just over 1,000 students, but we do have students from over 70 countries. So you're constantly, meeting people from all around the world. I can tell you from my experience, having that diversity in the classroom is really important. But yeah, the classrooms are pretty small. Average class size around 15 students. You really get to know your professors. A lot of them come from very international backgrounds as well, and come from some great, PhDs in universities around the world. So they also reflect, us being very multicultural and diverse. But like I said, we are American accredited, so you can get that American degree and bring it back to the US, of course, just like I did. But yeah, I'll touch on the campuses and the tuition and scholarships, of course. A few things to know about Cabot. So I think on-site learning and learning by doing can be summed up by experiential learning, learning through your experiences, of course. And I think that's by far the best way to be learning, because when you're learning through your experiences and you're actually able to get out of the class and, go to the place, go to the museum and, see what you're learning about, that actually sticks with you, and you're not just learning it for, a test or something like that. You actually just remember it because you learned through one of your experiences. So there's tons of different cases like that. Our professors love to take the students out of class and use Rome as a resource. But yeah, American style learning environment. So you'll be used to that curriculum, GPA, all of that is American, but you can get that American education. You just don't have to live in America. So COVID is a thing over there, but they're doing a lot better than the US. We've socially distanced the campus and the housing and all that. We're doing it in the safest way possible. This past fall and spring, we've been doing a hybrid model of it in person and remote. Students apparently love it. Sometimes they get to be in class and sometimes they get to stay home. So, and even by fall 2021, we're hoping to be a lot closer to normalcy. Of course, we're following all of the EU laws and Italian laws, but it's looking up. I think everybody's got a lot of hope now. But yeah, we have 14 majors and 19 minors. I majored in communications and minored in humanistic studies. We also have a few support services for our students, like the writing center and the math tutoring lab. Writing center can come in handy. You do a lot of writing in a liberal arts education. So I definitely used that quite a lot when I was there. But yeah, here's our list of majors, and all of these are offered as minors as well as philosophy and mathematics and a few others. But yeah, if you guys have questions about specific majors, please let me know. Something big at John Cabot is our career services. So we have collaborations with over 650 companies in and outside of Rome. So it's very likely that you get an internship before you leave college. And it's nice because you're putting yourself not only in a professional environment, but an internationally professional environment, which I think is just whatever company you go into is going to be an international environment. So you need to practice for that. But as you can see, over 80% of the students who get an interview actually end up getting the position because they know John Cabot, know our students. So it's not just for business students or, economic students or whatever, it's for all the students because there's so many different opportunities in Rome. You get those resources of the big city, but, also the benefits of a small institution. But because we're a small institution, we put a lot into our student-led clubs and organizations. Clubs, we have a lot. I think there's something, for everyone. We have Theater Society to Newspaper Club, to put out newspapers every month. We have a fashion club, film and photography, grassroots. A lot of course, the clubs involve getting out into the city of Rome. And, we love to use Rome because it's just so great. One of the best cities in the world. We do a bunch of trips and activities. So we do trips to places around Rome, day trips, and we also do weekend trips so you can go even further. And John Cabot sets the whole thing up. We do have athletics, of course, soccer, football over there is the biggest team we have. But we also have basketball, volleyball, we even have a cheerleading squad, and then the smaller sports like cricket and things like that. A lot of people go and watch the soccer team play against other universities, and it's a pretty fun time. That's probably the closest you'll get to like an American football experience. Yeah. So our tuition with everything full year, including the health insurance and the meal plan, is just under $27,000, and that's without any scholarships or anything. And we do take the FAFSA because we're an American institution, but we also have our own merit-based and need-based scholarships that definitely help. I received a merit-based scholarship when I was there. Biggest merit-based is $9,500 a year, so definitely a huge help. But yeah, if you guys have questions about that, please let me know. A few pictures of the campus. Our campus is an urban campus, so a few buildings near each other in the heart of Rome. But when you're outside of the buildings, you're just in the streets of Rome, and that's kind of the best part. But yeah, Critelli campus is our newest. Our Guarini campus has our library and our auditorium, a bunch of student lounge areas. We have a bunch of terraces that you can go and watch the sunset over Rome, like the picture behind me. Our Tiber campus has our cafeteria. These are all, within 3-4 minutes walking of each other, walking on the cobblestones. But yeah, we also have our own art studio. It's very nice to have your own art studio as a student there. Rome is a very artistic city. And then we also have housing. I know my time is up, but applying is just like applying to any other American institution, and we are on the Common App. But that's my time. Thank you.
Thank you. All very helpful information. Our next presenter is from Macquarie University, Sydney.
Thanks so much. Let me just get this started. Hopefully I have given you the right screen. My name is Leanne and I represent Macquarie University in Sydney, Australia. I'm here with two other colleagues from Australia. They both represent universities in Victoria, which is about a 45-minute flight from Sydney. And we do like to say that Sydney is the most Instagrammable city in the world. The university itself is located about 20 minutes from the downtown area of Sydney. So best of both worlds, that big cosmopolitan city experience, with the incredible beaches. As you can see here, this is Bondi Beach, which is absolutely stunning. And then you can retreat back to campus, which is a really beautiful parkland university. We have about 40,000 students, and of that, there are 12,000 international students on campus, an incredibly diverse student population. In terms of the campus life, it is somewhat similar to what you would expect from a US style campus. Australian students want the same experience. We have all the clubs and associations and sports teams as well. One of the biggest differences is the NCAA doesn't exist outside of the US, but you can certainly participate with the university at the Australian University Games. This is our mascot here, the Mac Warrior. We are named after Lachlan Macquarie, which is the 5th governor of New South Wales. Hence why he's in a Scottish kilt. He's from Scotland. We also have a really fantastic state-of-the-art fitness centre on campus. I do like to point out that we do have an outdoor swimming pool because our weather does allow it. If it's below 60 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too cold. If it's above sort of 90 degrees in summer, sorry, 60 degrees in winter, we complain it's too cold. If it's above 90 degrees in summer, we'll complain it's too hot. So we like a very mild temperate climate in Sydney. We have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week support services as well, and we pick you up when you first arrive at the airport. This photo on the right there is Muse, which is our student centre, which is a one-stop shop for everything, including study spaces across the entire 3-level building. They claim to have the longest, most continuous desk in the Southern Hemisphere, which is pretty fun as well. The university itself is very comprehensive in terms of the courses that we do teach. One of the biggest differences, again, is that our degrees are actually 3 years in duration. So we don't have general education requirements. The same with the UK, Europe, New Zealand as well. For us, the most popular courses are our business administration, international business, and finance as well. In terms of our faculty of the arts, we excel at media and communications, and we have really strong programs in criminology and cybersecurity. We specialize in software and telecommunications engineering, and fun fact for you, we actually invented Wi-Fi, so you're welcome. We also have incredible earth and environmental science programs. So if you are thinking of climate change or sustainable development, Macquarie is a wonderful place to study that. It's a very hands-on program. So you're constantly doing placements around Australia and also overseas as well. And our flagship program, the Bachelor of Clinical Science and Doctor of Medicine, is a 6-year medical program. You become a doctor at the end of it, and as part of that program you're actually able to do a clinical rotation in Dartmouth College and Washington St. Louis, top 10 US medical schools, which is pretty cool. We do have on-campus accommodation, and generally speaking, you will have your own bedroom and maybe your own bathroom as well, depending on which option you do choose. Generally speaking, students live in a townhouse with 5 or 6 other students on campus, and they do share the living areas like the kitchen and lounge room as well. We do have meal plans, but they're associated with the accommodation provider, not necessarily the specific overall university as you would expect here in the US. So how much does it all cost? Generally, tuition is about $24,000 per year. Living costs are approximately $15,000. So total cost of attendance is about $40,000. Students transferring to the university from community college often can finish in 1.5 or 2 years, depending on how long you have studied here for. We certainly assess your credit. So at the time of application, we'll let you know the duration of study required to graduate from your program. You can use US financial aid, and we do have scholarships available as well. So the higher the GPA, the better chance of a scholarship. You can also study while working in Australia. Our minimum wage is $20 an hour, which is pretty phenomenal. It's free to apply to the university. We have online applications. You apply direct to the university website. It'll probably take you about 10-15 minutes to complete because we do not require essays or recommendation letters. It's very much an academic-based process. So we'll assess the GPA from your community college. We may require some course syllabus or unit guides from your previous studies, but we'll let you know that at the time of application. So really you're just submitting your transcripts, your passport if you have it, don't worry if not, and then we'll get back to you within 2 weeks with hopefully an offer and also a study plan letting you know what you have to complete and the duration it'll take to graduate from our program. So from there you can apply for scholarships and financial aid, accept your place, purchase overseas healthcare insurance, book your flights, and hopefully come to Australia. Being in the Southern Hemisphere, our dates are a little different. So you do commence in February or the July intake, and we do have a new semester starting in November for anyone who would like to do that. So our next intake is July 2021, and applications are now open. With that, feel free to get your phone out and have a scan of this QR code to take you to our page, and we will then get in contact with you with anything else, but feel free to reach out, and thanks so much for joining.
Thank you. Just another reminder that we would love to answer your questions. Any questions that you have, feel free to submit those through the Q&A button. Our presenters are there and ready to answer questions that you have about the application process or majors they offer and everything like that. Everything in between. So our next presenter is from the American University of Rome.
All right, hi everybody. Sorry, the sun is in my eyes, so my camera's a little funky, but my name is Kate. I'm from the American University of Rome, and I am just going to share my screen. Awesome. Great. All right, so the American University of Rome is also located in Rome. Here with my neighbor from John Cabot. AUR is the oldest American university in Rome. It is a private liberal arts college founded in 1969. And we are fully accredited in the US, and all of our courses are taught in English. We are a very tight-knit community with 500 students total. We have 10 majors, and I'll go into those offerings in just a moment. And our average class size is 14, which is really great right now with COVID. You know, we've been able to largely remain in person with masks and distancing. And we're a very, very diverse group of students. We've got 60 nationalities represented in our student body and over 28 languages spoken on campus. So it's a really international experience at AUR. So a little bit about why you might consider studying abroad, and then why Italy specifically. This statistic speaks for itself. About 97% of study abroad students find employment within 12 months of graduation. And this just kind of speaks to the experience that you'll get as a study abroad student, kind of learning, growing, you know, having to navigate different systems in different countries really teaches you skills that employers want to see in their employees. So that's a really great reason to consider a study abroad program, whether it's, you know, a semester, a year, or, you know, 2 years, whatever it looks like for you, it's really worth it. So why Italy? Why Rome specifically? Well, Rome, even though it's a huge international city, it's actually a lot cheaper than like London, Paris, New York, LA. Our students' average living expenses are between $713 US a month. So, you know, it's not that difficult financially to live there. Ease of travel to other EU capitals. Paris is a 2-hour flight from Rome, but even beyond EU capitals, you know, Rome is kind of the bridge to North Africa and the Middle East, and so students can spend a long weekend in Morocco if they want to. Italy specifically has so much history, so much heritage. It's literally like walking in an open air museum in Rome. It's the capital of art, architecture, fashion, and food. So there's so much to do and so much that it can offer students in terms of an experience. A little bit about our academics. We do have 10 programs. You can see them listed there. The more popular programs are our business administration program, our film and digital media, and our international relations and global politics. Similar to what my other colleagues have been speaking about, we do pride ourselves on our experiential learning. We take advantage of the fact that our location is pretty incredible being in Rome, and we do our best to get students outside of the class every week. And so that might look like, you know, on-site classes. If you're an archaeology student, you might go and participate in a dig. If you're studying art history, you might go into the museum itself instead of looking at the, you know, paintings in a textbook. And then we also do academic field trips. So you might go into the countryside and study the production of olive oil and earn 1 credit while you're at it. We do really try to let students explore roam on their own as well, which is why we never hold classes on Fridays. So every Friday is a free Friday for students to kind of explore and make the most of their experience. So beyond academics, we do have some great student life activities. We've got clubs, sports, field trips, Italian cultural events, language exchanges, things like that. Actually, with John Cabot, I understand that there's a soccer tournament. We weren't able to do it last year because of COVID, but it's one of the highlights of the year. We're looking forward to getting back to it. In terms of how we support our students, we do have an on-campus doctor and counseling services, all English speaking, and also lots of peer mentors, res grads, people there to kind of make sure that you're adjusting well to life. One thing about AUR is that it's so small, you really can't hide. So if you're struggling, there's going to be a lot of people there to reach out and help you. So what does our admissions process look like? So for transfer students, we want to see a completed application. We need a copy of your ID, your university transcripts and course descriptions. Anything with a C will transfer in. If you have fewer than 30 credits, we want to see your high school transcripts as well. We look for a personal statement, essay, and letter of recommendation. We have a very holistic review process of all of our applicants, and we interview each one of them. And our enrollment is super flexible. So we do rolling applications. And this fall, we're actually not requiring a visa for students who might want to make that last minute decision. If it comes to be like June and you're like, I literally cannot be in my living room for one more minute, why don't you come on over to Rome for a semester? So for transfer students, we actually have a very generous policy as well. We can take up to 75 credits, whereas most institutions will cap it at 60. In terms of scholarship and aid, we have a specific transfer trailblazer scholarship. We do financial need-based scholarships, and we are eligible for the FAFSA as well. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, you can snap a photo of this. You can send me an email. There's my email right there. We've got 2 ways to follow us on Instagram and also Facebook as well. So I look forward to chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So for last but certainly not least, our next presenter is from the University of Melbourne.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I work for UniMelb, the University of Melbourne, based in Melbourne, Australia. So we're just going to kind of go over, some basic features of a UniMelb degree, but it's a really great chance to have an amazing adventure in a really beautiful and vibrant city in a wonderful country. We are ranked #1 in Australia, and we're ranked 25 in the world. So we are a large public research intensive university. So we have everything from business to the humanities to science, performing arts, and more. And as you can see, a lot of these are ranked in the top 20. One of the things that's a little bit different is that you're going to basically apply to the program directly rather than the university overall. These are just sort of a list of the majors. We have over 140 different options for you. So it's a quite straightforward admissions process. So there's no personal statements, essays, references, and we don't look at extracurriculars, but we do have pretty transparent entry requirements to get in. So if you're applying with less than a year of uni experience, you're just going to basically, rather at least 1 year of university, we're going to mainly look at your university grades. So we require at least a 3.0, and then some programs will require prerequisites. And if you're applying with less than a year of university study, we will look at your ACT and SAT and high school grades, and we still have those prereqs. You can check out our credit calculator here. The list is not exhaustive, but you can kind of get an idea of how many credits will transfer over. We tend not to give a lot of credit for introductory classes, but some are on that list. So the seasons are a little different in Australia. So semester 1 is March to June, and semester 2 is July to November. It can actually be pretty affordable to do a degree at UniMelb. So you can use US student loans. We do have some scholarships on offer, and the total, can be pretty, often pretty comparable to in-state options, and often cheaper than in-state private options. We definitely appreciate that your education is going to be one of the biggest investments that you ever make. So we are really proud to rank 7 in the world for graduate employability. So we do really have a lot of great internships, volunteering, and a lot of really innovative research going on that undergraduates can get involved in. So we're right next to the Melbourne Biomedical Precinct, and a lot of really cutting edge research goes on there. We were the first to grow and map the coronavirus outside of China, which has helped vaccine development and treatment for COVID. We have also a really big alumni network that has global reach to help you get a job back in your home country, or if you want to live somewhere else after you graduate. So we're only about 10-15 minutes away from downtown Melbourne. Really beautiful campus in a really beautiful city. We are Australia's second oldest university, so that means there's lots of really beautiful old sandstone buildings, and we've been around since 1853. We definitely do have modern facilities as well that are really purpose-built for students and a really great place to hang out. And one of the best parts of going to UniMelb is that you get to be in, vibrant Melbourne. So we actually were rated the most livable city in the world for 7 years in a row. We're currently number 2, but still pretty good. Always a lot of really great things going on in the city. So for students, there's, really easy access, to sporting events and museums and many other things that you might want to get involved in. We do also have a lot of different clubs, societies for students to participate in as well. And Melbourne is sort of considered a cultural capital of Australia, with all sorts of different activities. There's more restaurants, cafes, and music venues per capita than any other city in the world. And this is Great Ocean Road, which is only about an hour away from campus, which is a really beautiful place to be. So there is easy access to nature and hiking as well. And we're only about 30-40 minutes away from our beach community as well. So if you would like to hear more about UniMelb, please feel free to book a Zoom call with me, or I encourage you to sign up for our mailing list where we share upcoming events and so on. And thanks very much for listening.
Thank you. It is always great information being shared, and so I hope everyone found that really helpful. And so thank you. We do have some extra time left, and so we would love to move over into our Q&A portion of the webinar. And so I'll ask all the presenters if you can please turn on your camera and unmute yourselves. And the first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the transfer process? Again, what advice would you give someone going through the transfer process?
So I'll go first. So for me, I would just say familiarize yourself with how the school that you want to go to or that you want to apply assesses transfer credits. I think it's really important to be prepared with course syllabuses in case they do need to do a stricter course evaluation, and then that'll prevent any delays throughout your admissions process for you.
Yeah, further to that, I'd say as soon as you know where you're looking to transfer, start as early as possible and reach out to the people you have contact with at the university, because they can advocate for you to get your credits assessed quicker and get you that information you need to make a decision. So start early.
Yeah, a lot of universities, John Cabot allows you to submit a transfer credit evaluation before you even apply. So you can submit that and see exactly what credits we'll be able to transfer. I was actually a transfer student to John Cabot back in my day. So I lucked out because I just kind of thought, how bad could Rome really be? But do a lot more research than I did, because when you're transferring, you got to do more research than if you're going in for the first time, because you want to be sure that that's the right choice.
I would say look far and wide. This is obviously 6 really amazing universities overseas, and you're going to have no other time in your life with so little commitments or routes that you can go on such an incredible adventure. So look everywhere and everywhere, because there is opportunities all over the place for you.
So I'll just jump in. I would agree with my colleagues. A lot of great advice. I definitely think hang on to your syllabuses if you can, get in touch with reps. And, as Leanne was saying, this is the time to go. Get out of your comfort zone and, really have these adventures while you still can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the great advice. I think it's always great to hear directly from those who work in the schools and has a firsthand idea of what the process is like from other students or your personal experience. So very helpful. Our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So for me at Brock University, I actually was a student at Brock. I did my undergrad and my master's there, so 6 years of school. And every year it was definitely the orientation week. There was 2 main events. One was the Grape Stomp. We are located in the heart of Niagara wine country, so we do get grapes, and you get into teams, and then you stomp them, and the president comes, and it basically turns into a gigantic food fight, and it's a lot of fun. And then also part of orientation week would be our Steel Blade Classic, which is our gigantic ice hockey game that we do against one of our rival schools, and it's a really good showing of school spirit.
I'd say one of my favorite days on campus at Deakin, and a lot of, for students and staff in general, well, Melbourne, I guess Australia, is Melbourne Cup Day. So it's called the race that stops the nation. And if you're not at the races itself, you're enjoying the festivities on campus. And so they put up huge screens everywhere, and there's a really nice atmosphere. People get dressed up as if they were attending the race itself. And it's just a nice time for the community to come together and share in a cultural sporting event across the nation.
Yeah, I always say that our funnest event is kind of like a gala we have at this villa on top of Rome, where you get to see the entire city. And of course it's at night, so you get to see, all the lights of Rome and dress up really fancy, and feel like you don't really get that experience anywhere else.
For us, it's probably Conception Day, which happens in September, and it's actually a week, but it's in celebration of the university being signed into being. And it's a 3-day music festival on campus, which is a lot of fun.
So I don't know that what I was going to share is quite as exciting as these other options, but I was going to say, like, one of our really great traditions is that we have a farmer's market on campus every Wednesday, and there's really amazing food. So students really look forward to, trying this great cuisine every week.
Thank you all for sharing. Thank you, presenters. And again, so much. It's great to hear what's happening on different campuses and traditions that a lot of students hold dear to their heart. So thank you all for sharing, and thank you all for joining us. As we close, there will be a quick survey that will appear at the end of your browser. And so if you could please take a moment to fill out that 4-question survey. Your feedback will be really helpful to us. There are some more sessions going on. So if you're interested in attending more sessions, feel free to sign up for more where you sign up for this one. And then lastly, this recording will be available a week from today at strivescan.com/Illinois. Thank you all, and I hope you guys have a great evening.